Hello, Aries, and welcome to your reading for the weeks of October 22 through 4 November 2024, the 4th of November. This is a reading if you are Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising, or have another significant Aries placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. You can find out links to my social media and to my website in the description box below. If you want interested to find out about my work, obviously I do readings, but I also do astrological charts, life path reports. I do healing, both Reiki and Rahani. I'm also a spiritual coach. So anyway, if you want to check out all of the work that I do, check the website link below. Now we are at a point, okay, so we're probably by the second week in November. There's a lot that's been going on astrologically that will probably calm down after that point. So this reading is really going to cover this kind of ending point, this ending period where things are very, where we have this real, we have this intensity of energy, which for some people I've noticed there's been a good intensity, like the placement of Mars in Cancer right now, depending on where that is in your chart. It's been prompting a lot of people to move ahead and take action on the things that they're passionate about. On the other hand, this can also be a very emotionally volatile time. And there does seem to be a whole lot going on, not just individually, but globally as well, with major shifts that seem to be going on in the energy. So let's look at what this means in your chart, because you do definitely seem to be full of enthusiasm, Aries. In your first house, you've got Page of Wands, which is your own type of energy here. Page of Wands is somebody with new ideas, freshly inspired, enthusiastic, ready to get to work. Okay, Page of Wands is a really good omen. But this is the idea that you are at the beginning of something. So there's a sense of new beginning here. And with air, there could be a lot of mental energy that you are putting into this. And perhaps you've been very talkative lately, or perhaps you've been very focused. This is a very communication-focused card. Air is also a very detached card. So this could be that you've been more emotionally detached because perhaps you've been very involved with something that you are working on. Now, mind you, emotionally detached does not mean unfriendly. Air is definitely a card of friendship. It's strong Mercury energy, so it is this ability to communicate, to work. But you have been sort of in this space. So either you've been in a very talkative space, or just one where you are. This is a very lighthearted card. So air indicates somebody who's not taking themselves too seriously, taking situations too seriously, and somebody who is very enthusiastic about some kind of new beginning that they're making. Now, when I look in the center of the reading, you have the Queen of Swords with Osiris. Very similar energy here. You have this fire energy of Osiris, which is Sagittarius energy. And normally I do this card last, but I'm seeing a connection here. So this is you being very solid, stable, trying to get something on a stable footing, trying to make good judgments, taking action rather than being passive. But you have it with the Queen of Swords. So this is kind of a laser-like intellectual energy. You may be being a bit of a perfectionist about something. And again, this is an energy that is emotionally detached, which is why it caught my eye right away. I think the one thing that the Queen of Swords says is that as you're moving through and you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, it does seem like you're on a very good and firm footing, but don't be all in your head. Make sure you consider where the heart belongs in this as well. And there's some interesting things that I'm seeing around that, but we'll get there. Okay, financially, I feel like, I don't know if there's something that hasn't been as lucrative. You've got Five of Pentacles. Maybe there's been worries about money, because Five of Pentacles in the house of Taurus seems to indicate a worry about having enough funds for something or being able to do something. But you have Buckle of Isis here. So I feel like you are working, again, there's this idea that you're working very hard at something. There's almost like there's a new idea here or something that you're working towards. And with Buckle of Isis, I feel like it's saying the hard work that you're putting in right now is going to pay off. So if there have been worries about money, I feel like that the hard work that you're doing is going to alleviate these worries. You're not going to be, maybe you've been making an investment in something and you're worried, like, okay, is this going to be worth the money? Is this going to leave me more destitute than anything else? But this is saying the efforts you're making right now are paying off financially. So that's good news. Now, if I look at all the houses connected to job and career, I'm going to start there. I'm going to do the 3rd, 6th, and 10th houses. Now, mind you, career is not necessarily the only focus of these houses. I'm just going to kind of get into them here a little bit. But But I mentioned the third house because this does have, for people who are in their own business or wanting to start their own business, this is definitely an area that is connected to that. This is also just connected with general communications, have to do with sibling relationships and things like that. Now we have Isis with the Hierophant. So there seems to be some kind of a situation here. Hierophant is about doing something the traditional way. Hierophant can be somebody who is a guide or a mentor, okay? Because Hierophant is strong Taurus energy. There seems to be something very practical about this. That's why I feel like this might be somebody who is either in their own business, starting a business, making a change, and perhaps like going a very traditional route with something, deciding, okay, I'm going to do the tried and true method to get to where I want to get to. Kind of like, there's building blocks. Hierophant can also indicate somebody who's mentoring you or somebody who you feel is an expert who you're calling in to help. If you're not in your own business, then certainly this still applies. There's this idea of there's communications here about doing something in a very traditional way, or this has to do with being mentored by somebody in some kind of a way. Hierophant indicates a higher level of commitment to something as well. And with Isis is a card in this particular case. This certainly is a card of compassion and of nurturing, and there's a strong mother energy to it. But really, I feel like with this Hierophant, it has more to do with patience. Like there's something you're doing, like I keep hearing step by step, like there's something you're putting together step by step, or at least somebody is who's watching this. And this is saying, okay, be patient. It's almost like, being patient, almost being there. Sometimes Isis also can show up when we need to be compassionate to ourselves and when we need to take care of ourselves. Isis can also show up when we are in a space of, needing to show compassion with others, because sometimes if we do get impatient with people and situations, it may be saying, just a little recognizing perhaps what another person is going through might be called for in a particular situation. But, but there's definitely this vibe of authority and expertise. Now, this could be you, but I keep feeling like this could be you, or this could be the method that you're using. But I also feel for some of you, this could have to do with an outside person who may be helping you out. Now let's look at your home. I was finishing up doing this. I want to stay on task with what I said I was going to do. Okay, so let's go to your 6th house, which is the house of jobs. So people who are working a kind of standard 9-to-5 job for somebody, or even anybody who's just in any kind of service work, whether that's paid, unpaid. This is also the house having to do with your health. But we have fire with the Queen of Chalices. So we have fire and water here. So this suggests to me that there's a sense of integration here. Maybe for some of you, I don't know if this is coming into my head. Some of you may have a new job and you may be learning things. This could be, in terms of health, this could also be about reconciling opposites. So, or Vedically, obviously this kind of reminds me of this is more Pitta energy, and water probably, I'm trying to think if that's more Kapha or Vata. It's kind of more this kind of energy that needs to be brought together in harmony. And one of course is a very hot energy and one is a very cool energy. So I don't know. That's not ordinarily the way I would look at these two cards together, but I'm feeling for some of you, there's kind of a need to balance if people who are suffering from certain issues, like, I don't know, stomach issues or headaches or things like that. There may be this kind of balancing that's going on between different facets of like I said, things that can heat things up, spicy foods, things like that, whereas this has to do with cooler things. I just feel like there might be a balancing act that's going on here for some of you, and that maybe if you're having any kind of health issue, that might be part of it. Now on the work front though, again, like we had this Page of Wands in the 1st house. Fire has this strong energy of being inspired, being determined to do something. This is definitely an energy of, also wanting to get rid of what doesn't serve anymore, like trying to burn up the rubbish, so to speak, as they would say. You're inspired. You're working towards something. I feel like this may be something that you consider to be of service to others. And again, you have this Queen of Chalice energy. So this is actually water energy. So there's a strong element here of intuition, of compassion. I don't know if there is a water sign person or a female person who is helping you in this venture in some way. But we do have this Queen of Chalices here, and I feel like whatever it is, to me, emotionally speaking, these are both about things that you're very passionate about and that you're very committed to. And with this emotional energy, this is actually kind of like Mars and Cancer to me, right? Because Mars is fire and Cancer is water. So I feel like this may be manifesting for you in the area of work and in things that you're trying to do. Now, if I look at your career, okay, this seems like you may be collaborating with somebody because you do have this Three of Chalices. This, again, this is something joyful and celebratory. It's not something that is, this is about working with people, but it's harmonious. It's almost like a party. It's like a celebration. Okay, this is definitely the sense, or of having something to celebrate. And this is where you have Earth. So seeing what I saw financially over here, I feel like you may be making a career move that's going to be very lucrative for you. Okay, but again, with this Hierophant energy down here in the third house, I think there's something that maybe you're building here as well. You're trying to do something step by step, which is, this is Capricorn 10th house, and that's Earth, that's Saturn energy. So anything that you do that is slow and steady, where you take your time, is something that Saturn is definitely going to shine on very positively. So I feel like there's something here. There's a whole lot here around right now, like enthusiasm about something connected to work. This is where your heart is. This is where your passion is. And this may be something where you're working with others in a way that's more fun and celebratory, or at least it should be. So I don't know, that's looking very good on the career front. Yeah, there's been financial worries about something. It seems like that's going to be solved. Okay, so let's go to your fourth house. This is your home and family house. Okay, and speaking of Six of Chalices, I mean, this is definitely the idea of nostalgia or something connected to the past. This could be somebody returning from the past. Maybe there's a family reunion or something. I mean, who knows? But there's definitely this idea of looking back to childhood in some way. And you have this with the Sphinx card. So Sphinx is a card of diving deep into something. So I almost feel like there's something connected to your family that you are looking deeply into right now. And again, with Sphinx tends to be secrecy. So I don't know if this has to do with family secrets. I mean, it could for some people, but there's some element here of trying to get below the surface of something. But Sphinx is also a card of patience. It's kind of like wait and see what happens. Like that's kind of the energy of it. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a family situation or a past person who has come up. This could be an old friend. This could be a childhood friend. It could be something like that. Or this could just be connected to something in family that really kind of brings you back to this space. And some people think of Six of Chalices as a soulmate card. And it is showing up in the area of Cancer. Because fourth house is Cancer energy. I don't know if this is somebody you know through family, if it is family, but yeah, I don't know why. In this house, I feel like this has a strong family vibe. Now, looking at the Three of Chalices over here, I should note that this is the house of the mother and this is the house of the father. So that's why I'm looking at it thinking, possibly there is something going on here with family, or there's something about your past that's being uncovered right now. So, yeah, take that as it resonates. Yeah, but it seems like, and if you're not deliberately looking to uncover something, something could be revealed, which is completely fitting in with the energy of this time. As Pluto is getting ready to go direct, we are, a lot of the reality of a lot of situations is being uncovered. And speaking of such things, if I look up at the 11th house, which is Aquarius, this is your house of friendships, social networks, and so forth. You've got Nepotus with the Three of Swords. So you're thinking about breaking away from something, or maybe recently there's been a separation with a friend or somebody in your social network, or somehow a separation is affecting a situation, because you have it with Nepotus. So Nepotus indicates something that has not come to fruition yet, or something where the way forward is cloudy. And I think I looked at it because Sphinx is another card of secrecy. This is also a card, maybe not so much of secrecy, but more of the universe isn't ready to tell you what's going on yet. It's like the way forward, whatever. It's like a not yet card. Whatever's you've been wanting to happen has not quite happened for you yet. And there may be a sense of isolation here. Maybe you feel cut off from friends. Maybe you feel cut off from your social network. Maybe there's something that's going on here, or maybe even it has to do with a wish for something. Okay, because this also has to do with what you're trying to manifest. Maybe this is demanded either that you cut certain ties with people, or maybe it's just something where maybe you feel like you've been working on your own a lot. Now, as an Aries tends to be a sign that likes to work by themselves, but there is some concern over here. We have Pyramid with the Nine of Swords in the 12th house. This is your Pisces house. So this is your house of self-undoing and potentially of self-doubt. It's where we have all the imagination, but it's also where we can be self-deceiving. Yeah, you've got Pyramid, so there's something here that's testing you. You're feeling challenged in some way, and with the Nine of Swords, I think there's a lot of mental worry about it. Now, you're not showing this. What you're showing on the surface is a lot of enthusiasm and friendliness and detachment, but subconsciously you're very worried about something. Now, Nine of Swords, the one thing I can say about the Nine of Swords card is that it is not, it's usually a card of what we, it's the catastrophizing. It's what the worst that we think is going to happen, but it doesn't actually happen that way, okay? So yeah, this is almost like you're being tested. Whatever's going on here, we are definitely seeing a sense that it's going to be resolved with time. I have a feeling for some of you, this may be connected to relationships, so we're going to get there. I did want to look at the 9th house first. Okay, so we have Justice and the Winged Disc. Okay, now, one of the attributes of the 9th house, which is Jupiter energy, okay? Jupiter energy is expansion, expanding your horizons, doing something different. And Winged Disc suggests being successful. Like, this is you spreading your wings and flying. You are definitely moving ahead, moving into a new space. For some people, this could be going back for more education. For some people, this could be spiritual. For other people, you could be taking a long trip somewhere. But with Justice, I feel like with Justice here, legal matters can come into the 9th house. So I think for some of you, perhaps this is a legal matter in which you are going to prevail. So I don't know if this is connected to business. I don't know if there's some other situation going on where there's been a legal issue. But this is you being in the right. This is you seeing the truth. This is fairness. And yeah, if there is anything that's going to court, Justice with the Winged Disc absolutely means that, things are going to get sorted out in your favor. So this is sort of like overcoming almost legal challenges for somebody. But again, this could also just be sort of this quest for truth, for expanding knowledge as well. Justice does show us the reality of situations. Okay, that's what it's about, and it's also about finding balance. Remember what I said down here. There's a whole lot here about you trying to find balance, and I don't think it's just physically. I think it's physically, and I think it may be in your work life, and because I think you are ready to expand your horizons and do something different. And but Justice seems to indicate examining certain truths, or like I said, this could, for some of you, I think this could specifically indicate success in a legal situation. Now, looking at the 8th house, which is your house of transformation, we have Water with the 2 of Pentacles here. Okay, so yeah, this is the card of natural change and flow, and we have a card of change and flow. So yeah, you are definitely on a path of change. If your life has been kind of the same for a while, Aries, this is saying, no, you're definitely moving. It's like the current is taking you. And the fact that I'm seeing it with a card of natural change says to me, you're not going to have to try too hard to make a change. It's like you're being naturally drawn in a particular direction. And 2 of Pentacles can also indicate you're going to be very busy. You may be juggling more than one thing. You see this person holding 2 Pentacles here. There is the sense sometimes that we are juggling different things, but it's a harmonious kind of a card. It's Jupiter and Capricorn, and it's the idea that you're juggling things in a way that is, but it's not displeasing to you. It's not like, oh gosh, I'm going to be overwhelmed. Like, it's going to be like juggling the things that you're passionate about. There's a lot here about you being very excited to do something that you really wanted to do. Okay. And for some of you, this might involve opening up a business, or if you're already in business, maybe you're making a change. This could also indicate a new job that's very lucrative too, doing something you really, really love. But whatever it is, it's something that's keeping you very, very busy. Okay, so let's get over to the love relationship house. Now, I seem to recall, Aries, that you had some interesting cards in the last few months in this area. And okay, I have to show you these in tandem. So we have the Ankh with the Page of Swords in the 5th house. Okay, this is the house of love affairs. This is Leo energy. Okay, this can have to do with creativity and also with children and things. But for somebody, this is very specifically for love. Okay, and then in the 7th house, which is more about committed relationships or making commitments, you have the 7 of Chalices with Urias. You have all these cards of secrecy here, which is so interesting. Now, Urias and the Page of Swords right away tell me this is a relation, that there is a love interest that you have. But 7 of Chalices seems to indicate that you might think you're being delusional about it. Like, you might be thinking like, oh, there's almost too many ways to go, and you're not really sure what's the right way, what's real, what's not real. Seven of Chalices shows up when we're doubting. The fact that you have the Nine of Swords here, I feel more like you, and the fact that you're seeing the Three of Swords here. Maybe there's a separation from this person. Maybe this is somebody who lives far away, or maybe somebody who's just, for whatever reason, not in proximity to you. But the fact that you have Ankh here, now Ankh in the 5th house to me is almost a definite, either it's an actual love affair that's going to happen, or this indicates that there's somebody who you want to be in a relationship with. If you're single and you're not involved with anybody, then this is definitely showing a love interest, but there's secrecy here, Page of Swords. So either this person's not showing it to you. I have a feeling that could go both ways. This person may not really be totally revealing themselves to you, but I think you're also not revealing yourself to them because you're not sure if it's real or not, okay? You're thinking, maybe this is just an illusion, because I think you're looking at this person and thinking, maybe they're interested. Maybe this could work, but I think right now you're kind of going, well, I don't know. How is this going to work? There could be something about it where you're thinking, I don't want to get involved because I don't see how this is going to work. But you have this with Urias. So again, Urias is about secrecy. It's about, and so whoever this is, I don't think this person knows how you feel about them. Or even if they do, it's not, I feel like you're being very, very indirect in a particular situation. And again, maybe deliberately keeping things kind of nebulous and cloudy. But I think you have an idea about this person or this relationship. And I swear I've said this to you before, Aries, because I feel like this is like deja vu. There's just somebody who's interested. And I think somehow, I think you've been watching this person, okay? And they could be watching you too. But whatever you're thinking is like, oh, I don't know, it's probably just in my head, blah, blah. This is saying, no, it's not what you think. Urias indicates that what you're seeing or what you're interpreting is different from what you're seeing and interpreting. And I think you're interpreting things very negatively. There's definitely this sense here that you may be doubting yourself, and maybe you're feeling quite lonely right now. What's coming into my head is, I don't know, maybe you think this person has another relationship. Maybe you think that you're not the type that this person would be interested. I don't know. There's some kind of vibe of something like that. And it's basically saying you're wrong about that. I think there is, because I seem to remember last time there was a really great relationship thing, but I feel like you're still doing that. You're still second guessing yourself, and you're still doubting. And you're still kind of just lurking in the margins here. But it also tells me that this other person may also be lurking in the margins watching you. And if it refers to what I'm seeing up here in the 11th house with Nephthys, this is simply just saying, this is something that's going to come in at its proper time, and maybe it has just not ready to come in yet. And the Three of Swords here is, this is almost like you're feeling, it's interesting. It's almost like you're feeling alone and isolated, but it seems very, very clear that there's a very strong, possibility here. So I just find it kind of fascinating. But I think part of this is because you've been so focused on your work. And I don't know, maybe this stuff from the past, maybe this is what you're digging into here. This could be family stuff. This could just be stuff from past. Maybe you had a childhood sweetheart. I don't know. There could be something here where I think you are, there's a lot here, with justice, about seeing the truth of situations. So I think that's where you're getting to here. So and that might also explain our overall don't be an overly perfectionist about the way you're thinking about things. Get your heart involved, not just your head, because you may be, I feel like you might be cutting yourself off, Aries. You're very enthusiastic about your work. That's clear. And clearly, you're very friendly. You're in a very good mode. There's no issue with any of that. But those of you who are looking for love, I definitely feel like you may be cutting yourself off because you may have some. Well, Queen of Swords is also an excessively moral card, so I don't know. I don't know if you're somebody who's I don't know. And I'm seeing this traditional card over here too. Maybe that's also why you have Isis. Just kind of use some compassion, go easy on somebody. You have very, very strict standards about relationships, and you're afraid maybe that this person you're interested in doesn't meet them. But it is saying you will be surprised. So, interesting reading here. Overall, I just feel like you're on a good track. This harmonious change, things are going to be coming in for you at the right time. And for somebody at least watching this, I mean, there definitely seems to be big changes you're making in your career that are going to benefit you. Legal matters will go your way if that's what's going on. But you're trying to find some kind of work-life balance here. But I also feel like, you know, when it comes to matters of the heart, you may be looking at things. I don't know. I feel like there's past stuff that may be interfering in the present, and that you may be looking at things with far too critical or far too judgy of an eye when it comes to what your standards are. Now, I'm not saying people should compromise their standards, but I don't know, I just feel like there's something about this that you are not seeing quite correctly. And that the reality, Urias showing up here as the reality is actually better than what you think it is. And I feel like this is not the first time I've said this. Okay, so pulling the Essential Oil Oracle for you, you've got 2 cards. First, you got the centering card, centering oil. And the key word here is align. Didn't we just talk about alignment, trying to get things together? The trigger statement is, I feel conflicted. The true statement is, I am true to my, they say highest self, I always say best interest. Your focus needs to turn within to reflect on stories that are not true for you. Love is the way through. Exactly what I just said here. You may be going back to something in the past that isn't really true for you or true now. And then you have jasmine oil, and the key word here is passion. The trigger statement is, I am scared. True statement, when I'm vulnerable, I am at my strongest. Now that's an extremely true statement. Vulnerability and opening your heart, that is a much stronger state than keeping your heart behind a barbed wire fence, so to speak. Reconnect with your feminine energy and pursue something that ignites your fire. Yep. Open the gates of your fortress and explore. Okay. So that's interesting. Maybe that's why we have the 9 of Swords here. You know, maybe you're scared. Maybe there's something you want to do and you're scared and you're burying yourself in your work, which is such an Aries thing to do. But yeah, interesting. Very interesting here. I feel like the heart has come knocking, Aries. That's probably going to be the tagline for this week. The heart has come knocking. Anyway, I do hope this reading was helpful. If it was, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Hit the thumbs up, let me know that you like this video, and if you wish to leave me a comment, that's always welcome as well. Hope you have a great rest of your October, and we'll see you in early November.